So I need you to really pay attention because everything is going to fall apart in just 30 days. Now, I'm going to explain what's happening here in the United States. I'm going to talk about a new proposal out of California that's going to cause inflation to go up. I'm also going to talk about a new proposal from Freddie Mac, how we are trying to see an introduction of trillions of dollars in equity from our homes get released into the economy. This is going to cause a huge panic. And the reason why I say this is because this is going to bring stimulus to every single person here in the United States. And I want to touch on that first, because what we're about to see is millions of people access the equity in their homes. This is going to cause inflation to go up. And as inflation goes up, the people that don't have homes are about to see more stimulus from the federal government and multiple states. So we'll break all that down in just a moment. But all I ask is one thing. Takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. Okay, let's answer the question, how is everything going to fall apart in just 30 days? Well, in 30 days, we are going to be right about the middle of June. In 30 days, millions of children are going to be off on summer break. In 30 days, families are now going to be tasked with going on a vacation, spending money, buying lunches and breakfast for their children that are now home and not at school. That's going to cause a huge burden on millions of families. But, and I bring this up because we are seeing this come at the most opportune time. What's happening is that Freddie Mac just introduced a new proposal, a new idea. And it's going to give families about $1 trillion in stimulus. But according to some reports, it can go up as high as $2 trillion, possibly $3 trillion, but it would max out about $7 to $8 trillion. That would be the largest U.S. stimulus we have ever seen. Now, here's where things get very interesting. If we see homeowners go and access their equity in their home, again, massive stimulus, it would really stimulate the economy. It would help them pay down debt. It would help them get out of medical bills, student debt. Help them pay off car loans. Maybe it would help them, pay for a vacation that they absolutely need. I don't know. All I can tell you is this is going to cause inflation to go back up, and once it does, then we're going to see the federal government come out and increase food stamps. Right? We've seen it before. They're going to do it again. More stimulus. We're going to see states and counties go and try to pass a universal basic income, some additional pilot programs to give you some money into your pocket. We've seen it before. We're going to see it again. We're going to see seniors are going to be pretty much given a little bit of a boost as well. And yes, some seniors own their home, many don't. And so guess what? Lawmakers will come to their rescue and give them additional stimulus. Maybe try to cut more of their expenses. Not give them more money, just reduce their monthly expenses. Again, more stimulus. Now, I want to show you what California is doing. One of the things California has done lately, they have put some of the responsibility on the citizens because they are bringing in tens of thousands of people every single month, tens of thousands of illegal immigrants that are causing the state and multiple cities and counties to reduce their budgets. Well, by reducing their budgets, they are having to pay for things like just going to the park, pay for their library, pay their increase in parking ticket fees and speeding tickets and stuff like that. Again, they're putting it on you. But here's something California's doing. Just look at this.
This morning, California lawmakers considering a new bill forcing retailers to limit self-checkout lanes in an effort to curb theft and protect jobs.
The key here isn't to limit theft, it's to protect jobs. One of the things that many states and many researchers have done and said is that self-checkout, yes, it is more efficient. It is better as far as making sure that that company is making more money, but it's taking away jobs. Having self-checkout just takes away jobs. I was talking to a friend of mine. They're using AI to ensure that their products are not stolen out of a retail store. They're using AI. So they used to have two loss prevention officers, I guess you call them. Now they have one. That person's job is to manage the artificial intelligence to ensure that the theft rate is going down. Guess what? By using AI, it has reduced their thefts by about 40%. I don't think they get a lot of thefts. It's a smaller retail store, but again, reduced it by about 40%. That's pretty good. So they cut out one of the loss prevention officers, save a little bit of money there, but at the same time, now they're using AI. Guess what? By getting rid of self-checkout and hiring more cashiers, that's going to push inflation back up. Wages, again, are going to go back up. Think about it. Okay? But I want to bring this to your attention for a couple of reasons. Number one, we are seeing right now, and the expectation is that inflation is going to be right about 4.8% come the election, right about November. Some believe that inflation will be up over 5% sometime in the first quarter of 2025. So within the next 7 to 9 months, we're going to see inflation up over 5%. Yeah, it's up over 3% now, but it's going to jump about 2% in the next handful of months, half a year. Well, we'll see. But I want to talk about something else. One of the things that we've seen is some families, lower income, middle income, even upper class families, are only getting by because of credit cards, because of swiping their plastic. Now, here's the problem. Credit card companies at this time are starting to reduce the amount of people that they lend to. They're not accepting new applicants in some cases. And if you go look at your mailbox, let's say 2 years ago, you probably received every week, you would get one new credit card offer. Today, you probably get one new credit card offer every 3 to 4 weeks. That is a huge reduction. One of the reasons why is because credit card companies and banks do not want to lend money to people that are not credible, don't have a high credit score, don't have a long work history. And one of the big ones, which I thought was very interesting, one of my friends said, as a lender, we will not lend to people that do not have, he said, the most important factor, assets in their name. They want to make sure that if for some reason that person cannot pay back their loan, they can go after one of their assets. Now, I don't know how much banks are doing this. I don't know what's really going on there. But again, I've heard of it before. We've seen it happen. But here's what I thought was interesting. Americans, as of right now, they are splurging on travel. Okay? They're splurging on travel and entertainment. But I want to read why. Okay? It says down here, Americans are still waiting to go into debt to travel, or still willing to go into debt to travel, dine out, and go to concerts in 2024. Young adults, especially, are focused on enjoying life in the moment rather than saving for the future. But it's this. It's partly that you only live once mentality that intensified during the pandemic. One of the things that we saw during the pandemic was people were scared. They didn't know if they were going to be around in the next 4 months, 6 months, or year. And again, we still don't know. We don't know. We could walk out the door and a bus could come by and that's it. Right? There's so many scary things that are happening. Not necessarily a bus driving by, but there's attacks, there's protests, there's threats over in the Middle East. Right? We have all these things. But at the same time, people are spending like today is the last day they will be here on Earth. But here's what credit card companies doing. Credit card companies are seeing the delinquency rates are rising. Look at this. It says the credit card delinquency rates hit worst level since 2012 in a new Fed data. Now, credit card delinquencies, just look at this. It says all stages of credit card delinquency, 30-day, 60-day, and 90-day past due, rose during the fourth quarter of 2023. But the share of debt that was either 30 or 60 days past due rose to the highest level since 2012. It says nearly 3.5% of card balances were at least 30 days past due at the end of December. That's troubling. But here's what's also troubling. Guess what credit card companies are doing at this time? Well, Capital One they have a charge-off rate of 5.9%. This is the highest charge-off rate they have seen since 2008. The same goes for Discover. Discover is sitting at 5.7% as a charge-off rate. This means that these credit card companies believe they will never get this money back. And so they're closing those accounts, they're charging off the amount, and they will never see it again. At the same time, those customers, those people that had the cards before, they don't have access to that credit. They cannot use it anymore. Well, that's a problem, because right now we are facing potentially one of the worst, crises that we've faced in the past year. We are going into the summer. This is when most people travel. This is when most people go and they fly and they drive places and they do a little bit extra yard work and they do renovations on their home. That's what we're about to see. But how are we going to get all that money? Well, this is why I've been bringing this up over the past few days, is we are about to see more and more Americans go after the equity in their home. As they do this and they start to get a home equity line of credit, pull some of the equity out, they now have a new payment. But at the same time, what is that payment for? This is why I want you to pay attention. Because if you are not paying attention to what's going on right now, you are going to be blindsided by what happens over the next 30 to 90 days. Because during the summer, the expectation is we are going to see more people get a home equity line of credit. We're going to expect more people to go and travel and buy a new car and fix their homes. When all this stuff happens, everything's going to go up. Prices for everything will go up. But as prices go up and credit card companies actually eliminate and close certain accounts, what happens to those families? They can't afford food. They can't afford medication. They can't afford gas to put in their car or the insurance to keep their vehicle insured. What happens then? All I can tell you right now is everything is going to start to fall apart within the next 30 days, according to multiple experts. So we'll see what happens. All I can tell you right now is I'll be here every step of the way. I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. But as of today, that is what we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.